Okay, so let me do the fraction remainders ones first from yesterday, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, 8 into 247. 8 doesn't go into 2. This is number 1, by the way. But it goes into 24 3 times. Okay. Now, just because we get 0 here does not mean we're done. We still have to go to the end of the whole number. Okay, and we're going to see where that matters here in a second. We've always got to go to the end of the whole number, at least for our whole number. And then remainders get a little bit tricky after that. We bring down the 7. 8 does not go into 7. Okay, so 0 times 8. And we have this remainder of 7. Well, that's what goes over the 8. 7 eighths. Okay? All right. Number 2 was 3 into 2645. Okay, so 3 does not go into 2, but it goes into 26 8 times. Bring down the 4. Goes into there 8 times. Still not done with the whole number. Bring it down. 3 goes into 5 once. And then put the remainder back over the divisor. 881 and 2/3. Okay? Number 3 is 5 into 638. Okay, 5 goes into 6 one time. Goes into 13 twice. And bring down the 8, goes into there 7 times. There's a remainder of 3, and so that goes over the divisor. 127 and 3/5. Okay, 12 into 164. Okay, 12 doesn't go into 1. And see, I put that there because I see students, if they put something here, then when they get to here, they think that they need one more number. I just think it helps. It's up to you if you need it or not. But it does not go into 1, but it does go into 16, so that's where this answer is going to go one time. Break down the 4. 12 goes into 44 3 times. And subtract, and you get 8/12. Now, we'll later learn to reduce that down, but for right now, we're leaving it as 8/12. Okay? And then the last one, and I know if I'm going kind of fast, that's for those that have got it, just kind of want to check. But if you need to slow it down, go back through it, do that, check each number, see if you made a mistake, where it was. But 7 goes into 8 one time. Bring down the 7. Goes into there twice. Bring down the 9. Goes into there 5 times. Bring down the 6. Goes into there 6 times. And you've got a remainder of 4 over the 7. Okay? 1256 and 4/7. So that's doing those with remainder of fractions. What we're going to look at now is more common in math. Fractions give you a value, and that's important to realize that we don't just stop at just saying a remainder. But as you go on in math, really pretty much the way they use it is decimals. If you go into a science class, they don't have you. Now, there is some scientific calculators you can use fractions, but mainly we work with decimals in later math. So really, that kind of helps us start with the value and understanding that, but most of the stuff we're going to use is decimal. If you put in a calculator and something doesn't come out even, they've got it in decimal form after that. And so we need to look on how to do that. So I'm going to start with something here. Let's do 2 into, well, let's actually, let me start this over so it's a little bit easier. Let's say 2 into 25. Now, we got to think about money now, not so much cookies. Money's good too as well, so cookies are good, money's good. But let's think about splitting this up money-wise, and what that would mean. Now, one thing about a whole number is we got to always remember a whole number's got some invisible things going on about it. For one, this is a positive 8. You learn later in math that if it had a negative there, it'd be a negative 8. but because there's nothing there, there's a positive 8. So that positive sign is just invisible. It's there. It's inferred. You kind of know it's there without seeing it. Same thing with a fraction. If we need to turn this into a fraction, we can put it over 1. And so that's the same value. 8 divided by 1 is still 8. But we only do that when we need a fraction, but it's invisibly there. It's just waiting. There is a decimal always at the end of a whole number. It's just always waiting at the end. How you can prove that, say, okay, write 8 on the board, and then you wrote 8, and you say, okay, now make that $8. Well, it's the same value. It's 8, but it's $8. We would put a decimal. We instinctively know it goes right here at the end. And then we put our currency goes 2 spaces, so we put those 2 spaces there. But that decimal is just waiting to be used. It's there. So we have a decimal right here that's just waiting if we need it. Okay? So we're going to see what happens when we actually need that. Now, I would go 2 into 2, which is 1. Now, we're not done yet because we're not to the decimal. We're not to the end of the whole number. So we bring down the 5. 2 goes into 5 twice. Now, we are going to start our decimal when we have a remainder, and we're doing these as decimal remainders. And where it goes on the answer is straight up above it. Okay, so you put a decimal here, and you put this here. Now, what we need to do is keep going with our division. Now, I see a lot of students, their first mistake that they do is to take this 1 and just put it here, just like the fraction. Put it like 1. You don't do that. That's not a correct value. Think about this now. Hopefully you can see already, if I split this money, $25 up into 2 people, then each one would get $12.50, right? You get $12.50, you get 12 and a half, and I would give you each a half. If I put the 1 here, that's saying $12.10. And so if I did 12 and 10, 12, 10, I would pocket 80 cents. You know, I'd be like, hey, each person got shorted 40 cents. So it's not just taking the 1 and putting it up here. You have to keep dividing. And to do that means we're going to keep adding zeros as long as we need to do that. Now, in a calculator, if you're doing problems, you'll see some of them go on forever. They just keep repeating or numbers keep going. We're going to do ones that eventually end. Within 3 or 4 numbers, or sometimes 1 or 2, it will end. And by that, it means it comes out even and you're left with no more remainder. That's just so we get used to it, and you know, those problems will come out that way. So you shouldn't have one that on these assignments that go on for like 8, 9 numbers or something. If you've done that, you've probably done something wrong in your division, okay? So let's look at this one. So I'm going to add a 0 to keep going. Bring that 0 down just like any other number. And now you're going to go 2 into 10, which is 5 times, which means it comes out even. That's where you come out even. $12.50. Each student would get $12.50 split between them. Let's do another one of that. Let's go 5 into 724. Okay, so 5 goes into 7 one time. Bring the 2 down. Goes into there 4 times. Bring the 4 down. Goes into there 4 times. And now we're at the end. We got a remainder, so we need to start our decimal. And we're going to put it right up above here. And we're going to start a 0 and bring that 0 down. Now 5 goes into 48 times evenly, and that's where we're done, 144.8. Okay? Let's do another one that may go longer than 1. Let's do 8 into 9, 7. Let's see, I want to make sure this doesn't come out even. 4. Okay? So 8 goes into here once. Bring the 7 down. Twice. Bring the 4 down. Once. Okay, and we got a remainder of 6. So we need to start our decimal. Okay, put our 0. And 8 goes into 67 times. And see, we're still not done. The other 2 we finished right there, but we still got a remainder. So we need another 0. We put zeros until we're even. So 8 goes into 45 times, and now that's even. That's where it ends. So it's 121.75. Okay, so get some practice with that. You may need to go back and watch it a couple times. You know, you can also hit in division with decimals, that kind of thing, and look, you know, for different videos that may help you. Let me put your assignment up with this one. 2 into 9. 4, let's see, no. Yeah, 4 into 126. 5 into 1274. 2 into 7931. And number 5 is 8 into 265. Okay, and these will end, after maybe 2 or 3 numbers, or maybe just one number. It will end at some point. Okay. All right.